All right, man. So about Teofimo Lopez said he reached out to Ryan, and Ryan said no. You know, but let's speak on it, man. And everything go down on social media these days. And he said he reached out to Ryan Garcia about fighting him. Oscar De La Hoya said he wanted to do Ryan and Tio, and not Ryan and Rolly. Tio seeing what was up, and he says Ryan management said no. So not the promoter, Oscar, it's the management. Now, I talked about Virgil Ortiz daddy saying, well, Eddie said about fighting Jerron. Oh, we don't know nothing about that. And woo, 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 woo. So Oscar don't really got no control over his fighters. For Ryan, he got an advisor. I don't think Lupe advising him no more. I could be wrong on that. And it just seemed like a lot of these fighters he really don't have no control over. They teams individually say what they are, what they're not gonna do. And like I said, I believe Oscar when he tried to make the Virgil, well, he told Bud that Virgil no. And from what we've seen, it's like Virgil don't want to fight nobody. His daddy always hollering and screaming when it's a threat. Let's keep it real. They tried to fight, like fighting Boots at 54. Why would Boots do that? They said Boots was getting $5 million to fight Virgil Ortiz. He making about 3 right now. And then he could have, now this is stupid. It sounds like he could have made anywhere from 10 to 20 fighting Tio, which I don't know why he didn't do it, but shit, I'd have made that way to beat the shit out of Tio. But people say, oh, he ducked Virgil. He ducked the motherfucker who never won a title. Come on, I'm about to come up and fight you on my 54-pound debut. What the hell do I get out of it? What do I get out of it? I don't get a title. I just said I beat a prospect. Or I beat a solid contender. And if I beat the hell out of him, and he never go on and do nothing, I'm out. Man, Virgil wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? So, you kind of seeing this, these fucking roundabouts don't help shit. I mean, when there's a lot of traffic, you're supposed to control the flow of traffic. Bullshit. So I'm about to go. You're going to just get it how you live. But it's the last roundabout on my route. But back to the topic, yeah, about Oscar don't really have a final say-so what his fighters do. It seemed like he got one plan for what he want his fighters to do, and then his fighters and his team got another plan. So really, can we blame Oscar for a lot of his fighters not being the world champions? I never thought he was completely to blame. His fighters don't really have a heart. A lot of them fighters over there really don't have a heart. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in themselves. So Tio, the word is now Tio is gonna focus on Shakur Stevenson, but really, when you look at Tio, he don't bring nothing to the table. If you gonna fight him at 40, we're in a lineal title and title. But as far as views, popularity, he's just a goofy. Nobody care about him. All the backflips, all the Heisman nights, all the shit talking. He can't get no motion going. And at one point, a guy like Bernard couldn't get no motion going. But what Bernard kept doing is kept stacking wins, stacking title defenses, doing amazing shit. And eventually, Bernard Hopkins got his love. Some people get instant success. A lot of times the media, and payola has to do with people who get instant success or who get praised. It can be like, you can be a God-fearing person and you can just be like very positive, and the media can be like, well, it just seems like he's trying to push his faith on the people. You know what I'm saying? Or it just seems like he's better than people, and they can paint this narrative that you're bad. Come on. You can be a straight asshole. They can make you seem like you could. Look at Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor should have been, ostracized out of American sports. He should have been deported. No longer able to come over here. But the media pick and choose who they want their heroes to be. That's what you got to understand. They pick and choose who they want their heroes to be. It's not really in your control. Look at Russell Wilson, for a God-fearing man, a good man, right? And they want to just vilify him so bad. They want him to slip up. Oh, it just seems like he's not being himself. And what he supposed to be, a nigga? He supposed to be a stereotypical nigga? Or he just think he better than everybody else. And a lot of people got an insecurity. So the people who run this world, who run these individual sports and these publications, they have a vendetta against certain people to destroy them. They have a vendetta. I'm telling you that right now. So it all depends on, like, Crawford. Crawford not supposed to be here. He broke through, and they still trying to destroy him through pens and through articles and through social media. So T.O. just got to understand, even though he a bitch ass nigga, T.O. must understand he just got to keep stacking accomplishments. Just because you accomplish this much in boxing or in life, just because you do these things in life, it doesn't mean that you're going to get rewarded how and when you want to get rewarded. That's what people. I remember I met this guy. We was in the sauna and shit. No diddy. He was like, I used to be an atheist, but I actually started reading the Bible and researching, and it's and there are actual, they have it's facts. They have actual proof that a lot of things in the Bible happen. And when I started reading the Bible, I became a believer. You can look out every day, and you go through the Bible and you start reading it, got all the answers. But you're not rewarded how you want to be rewarded. How you think I want to be rewarded $1 million. I want to be. Sometimes you get that $1 million. That's you might end up killing yourself with that $1 million. And the Bible said, life is a wager of sins. When you start looking deeper into it, they say, your father's sin go on into his son. So what your father did fall on you. But Teal got to understand, just keep stacking the accomplishments. That's all. Just keep stacking the accomplishments. And you'll get yours when you need it. But for the most part, come on, man. Why is he fighting Shakur Stevenson? I mean, I know why, but he gonna lose that fight. He gonna lose that fight. CJ, how do you know? He too unathletic. He struggled with athletic fighters and guys who use the ring. If you come right at T.O., you got a chance. He gonna get outboxed. If he catch Shakur, and then Shakur got better conditioning than him. Maybe only thing he really got is he been acclimated to 140. I think that's the only thing that he got, that he acclimated to 140. But honestly, he's just like a lot of other Hispanic fighters. They don't use the jab enough. They don't use the jab enough. And that becomes a problem. You gotta use that jab. He gonna be looking for one big punch. He gonna be a fish out of water. Y'all be like, oh, he's so athletic. I'll be like, no, he's not. You put him in there with a guy like Shakur Stevenson, and he's not the athlete that y'all think he is. And he needs to be smart. He's not the athlete that y'all think he is. I'm telling y'all. He gonna get out boxed. He gonna get out pointed. You know, he not one of those guys that can really tuck his chin and walk you down. He ain't one of them type of guys. That ain't him. So, bad matchup in my opinion. You know, they probably, if Turkey not gonna be involved, they probably gonna have Top Rank put this together. And Bob would give Shakur a one-fight deal. Remember he mentioned him. Hagler used to just have one-fight deals with him. They never had a long-term contract. So, but ultimately, I like Shakur easy in this fight. Shakur, my bad. I'm calling this nigga by like he a real Shakur. Like Tupac rolling over in his fucking grave. Shakur. I don't really care. I wouldn't even watch this fight. I don't fuck with them coon ass and them racist ass marks.